Oh, hello, hello, all you soul-inspired beings. Welcome to day 42 of 55 Days of Christ Consciousness. This is inspired by the Christ Consciousness Self-Mastery deck by Amanda Ellis, illustrated by Jane Delaford Taylor. I'm Gina Lobito, Soul-Inspired Reflections, just guiding you in connecting you with these energies that exist within you. All these Christ consciousness energies exist within you, and it's not to be mistaken for the person Jesus versus the level of attainment that he held within himself. As do you hold these qualities within you, and you're just remembering how to embody it and to allow it to be embodied as you connect with your higher self, your higher aspect, and igniting your heart and the unseen aspects of your multifaceted self. And at this time can be emotional. It can be mentally challenging. But as you recognize that this is an organic process of ascension, internal growth, internal being, and the more that you can develop your pillar of light, your 12-dimensional shield, as it can be referred to in many ways, you stay in alignment with your energy and your direct connection with Christ, with your heart, the heart of the earth, heart of the universe, and to go into the stillness of your heart. It's through the heart that right now we expand and open up to the universe and world, as also through our higher chakras and the third eye center, and so much more. For those of you, some of that language might be foreign to you, and that's quite all right. Just go to where your heart draws you, go to where your soul is calling you to be in harmony. Some of these cards, I'm shuffling them, but some of them we've already gone through, and they've just gotten mixed up in the deck and a little bit. And anyway, I'm going to shuffle them, but before I do that, we're going to light a candle and reminding you, and whenever you're doing any sort of spiritual work and meditation where you're connecting to spirit, to light a candle and remember the sacredness of the fire, connecting with the elements, connecting with the light, the purest light, and the light within your own heart, and let this light remind you and be symbolic of the light within you, the light that you're connected to, and the light that lights up others, right? As you expand, you and your own presence and awakening will light up others by your mere existence and radiating the love from your heart outward, from your being outward, and that inner knowing and depth. So may this light light the heart in you and light the heart in others. Okay. And feel free on your own to set your space up and light a candle, and remember to not leave it by itself, and not leave it in a draft, and to honor the sacredness of the fire. So, and also what we're going to do is light a little bit of sage to clear the space, clear your own energetic field, activate your own pillar of light and grounding into the earth center, grounding into your own heart, putting your 12-dimensional shield or violet flame around you, however you choose to feel protected in your own energy as we connect to the energy of Christ, the energy of Christ within you and this deck. It's also, Gus, hi Gus, my dog Gus wanted to say hi. It's also a very good practice to activate and ground, activate your pillar of light around you and your violet flame, for those of you that work with the violet flame, and to ground yourself and be connected in your body while you're opening your heart and connecting to your higher self, into the stillness of you every day. And I make it a practice to do it in the morning and to do it in the evening as I end my day. So we're going to go ahead and light the sage, and sage is an antimicrobial herb plant. It's also an ally, right? When I'm working with anything, it's an ally. Oftentimes I'll have a feather, but my feather is back behind me and I'm just going to use my hand today. But when we do this work, we're connecting with the element of fire, air, water with the abalone shell, and the earth. And I'm just sending you blessings, sending you love, sending you clearing and of your energetic field, anything that is not of your divine essence, not your energy. So we go through so much in the day. And as I'm doing this reading, it's November 30th, 2023, and we're just out of the holiday season of Thanksgiving, still in the middle of the holiday season, but and for some of you, and I myself included, a lot can come up, emotions, grief, joy, celebration, so much. So let's go ahead and just rebalance and recalibrate to our higher self, our higher aspect, and with love, with gratitude, with peace in our hearts, with love in our hearts, even if you're feeling grief and sadness, to invoke laughter, invoke joy. I encourage you to smile and breathe in the beautiful ally of sage to assist in clearing our field. Invoke the violet fire to blaze in, through, and around you, purifying your body, transmuting any negative energies or energies that no longer are in resonance with your higher self. And just breathe in that violet fire and visualize it in your mind's eye as it purifies you and assists in transmutation, transfiguration, alchemy, as well as the sage, right? And this is just a white sage. It's very healing. And it just felt kind of called to do this today. So that in itself, let's go ahead and take 3 breaths together and Om on the exhale. Om. Full breath in. Really feel that anchor in through your body, your heart center, your column of light, down your spinal column, into the earth, and back up into your heart and into the heart of the universe. And it's all one breath. If you feel your body moving back and forth a little bit, that's normal. And just visualize yourself coming into a calibration, into a balance, into center. Very good. And now we'll continue our journey of Christ consciousness as we take this 55-day journey of this beautiful, beautiful deck, just to ignite these energies within you, go into self-reflection, and however it shows up for you in your life right now. Or maybe you'll return to this video at a later date. And it's for those of you newly joining me, it's 55 days because there's 55 cards in the deck. We are welcome to go visit the prior card pools to acquaint yourself. Those will stay up as long as I have a YouTube channel. Yeah, so I invite you to just open your heart and let's see what today's message is, because we're almost through this journey. And we'll just ask for 1 card, please. And we're also going to call on Archangel Metatron to assist in managing our stellar gateway and higher chakras. And he governs the ascension process, among other things. And today's card is temptation, moral compass. And and look at that beautiful, oh my gosh, that's really funny. Look at that candle. Look at that. What did I just hold in front of us? It looks exactly the same. I love when these things happen. Because as you know, I don't always bring the candle in so present during the video. very beautiful time. Synchronicities and feedback. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take this card in. Temptation, moral compass. And we have the three monkeys. Hear no evil, speak no evil, see no evil. Temptation. I'd like you to take a moment and just sit with yourself, or even pause this recording. And just the word alone, temptation. Temptation. What does that invoke in you? What is the first thought that comes to mind, or in feeling? Both thought and feeling comes to mind. Where do you feel it in your body? As I'm talking, I feel it here, almost as if I want to belch. Not a tight throat, but air coming up. Like, what temptation, what desires, what is occurring in my own life, perhaps, that I don't want to look at, that I don't want to hear about myself, that I don't even want to say out loud? What am I witnessing that I don't want to give voice to? Right? Tempting. What's dangling in front of me that I may be tempted to have my desires felt, that, but maybe it's out of alignment, that I'm maybe not paying attention to my own inner moral compass, right? That heart, that gut feeling. Right now, my gut is on fire a little bit, going, hey, the gut, right? Even as children, we know right from wrong, right? When we're doing something, you just know. It's, you are already coded inside with a strong moral compass. Many of us, there are some people that don't have as strong a moral compass, or it's been dampened down in some way. But I know for myself, even as a young child, I couldn't tell a lie. My body would contract. I remember feeling it. I could see myself. If I was doing something that I knew I shouldn't have done, I could feel it in my body. I could feel it in my stomach. Right? Even as an adult, I could be like, nope, and I can't do it. I can't go out of the morality, right? Now, it's not for judging other people. If I have a strong moral compass, I just know I'm not going to participate in what someone else is doing. If it lacks integrity and morality, right? I'm going to pause the recording briefly and just pull, you know what, I'll just do it while it's recording, to pull up the definition of temptation, right? There's something about knowing its etymology. Lately, I've been remembering to return to language, right? If you go into neurolinguistics, language has a vibration. And it's important for us, or if you're curious enough, to explore language and where its origins are from, and really understand, and no longer assume that we know what a word means and how it's used and in what context, right? And, you know, the medical field might have a different context versus the legal field, right? So pay attention to that. Temptation, let's see here. Where does the word temptation come from? And the Latin word temptare, or temptere, or to taste, is where temptation comes from, which makes a lot of sense when you think of the bag of peanut butter cups calling to you from the kitchen. That is funny. To taste, right? Let me keep searching a little bit here for something that has a little more with it. The Greek word for temptation is periazo, which means to reveal weakness within you. You cannot be tempted by something if the weakness for it is not already inside of you. If you are being tempted, God is using it to reveal to you your weakness, so you can pay attention to it and deal with its root. Wow, that is very powerful through the Greek. that, sit with that. I'm going to read that for you again. The Greek word for temptation is periazo, Periazo, which means to reveal weakness within you. So if we're talking about self-mastery here, which we are with this deck, and I feel self-mastery anyway, as you're on an ascension process. Now, some of you know that you're called to a path of self-mastery. I know I am one that is definitely called to this path of self-mastery, mastering my energetic fields, emotional, body, mental, physical, and spiritual, and energies, and working with the energies within and that we're connected to in the universe, and really mastering them. But also, as I come into mastery, to continue to just chop wood and carry water. Just because I can do something doesn't mean I should, right? So that's where the morality also comes in. Integrity comes in. Is it within? Is it aligned? The heart of the universe, my heart of my I am presence, my gut, earth, are all those lining up? Can I see that bigger picture, right? Or am I being blind to it? Or am I being blind to it? Or do I not want to hear it? Because I know on some level, the morality is being compromised within me. Should I make a certain choice, or should I choose not to see? Should I choose not to speak or stand up? Right? What weakness is within you that it's being drawn to the surface for you to alchemize and turn it into a strength or power, or create that into that golden nugget, the alchemy, right? The alchemy. Face your shadow. Face the shadow within you. You no longer have to hide from yourself. You no longer have to deny yourself. It reminds me of the denial card, which I think was, I can't remember if it was a Joseph or I can't remember the person's name on that card, but there's a denial card. What's being shown to you? Because once you resolve something within you, you can never be tempted again. And many of you may be tempted right now to maybe make the easier choice, even though it goes against something deep within you. Or does it go against another person and causes harm, right? So you must pay attention to deal with your own root cause, the root of that matter within yourself. And be willing to see it, be willing to hear it, be willing to speak to it out loud. Own it. Accountability, responsibility. This is part of self-mastery. Letting go of any judgment of yourself, letting go of any self-persecution or that of others, right? Bringing in the compassion, the grace, the ease in your self-mastery. And recognizing your own temptation, because there's also a desire quality when we are tempted, right? That first Latin little definition, like they use like, oh, the peanut butter cups in the fridge. I am so tempted by that sugar. I got to have that dessert, that's sweet. At any cost, I'm going to have that sweet. Right? Where do we see that in our own life or in the bigger picture? Almost like somebody does anything for money. We talk about archetypes. Carolyn Myss talks about archetypes where it's very much the prostitute archetyped, right? We prostitute ourselves for money. I'm going to do this for that, right? We compromise the morality, right? And I'm not talking about in the traditional sense, the way we first think of prostitute, right? But we compromise ourselves for power, whether it harms ourselves or other people. And we all have these archetypes within us. So how do you come into harmony with it? Balance it out. Your attributes. Bring light to your shadow. Bring light. to your core, to the root cause. Bring light to it. Alchemize it. Look at all this purple and magenta color, violet flame. Alchemize it. Learn how to transmute, transfigure, release, forgive, come into freedom. Because then you turn any temptation, it's no longer a weakness, because then you're no longer tempted by the carrot, right? You're no longer tempted by this carrot dangling in front of you that you never will reach, or the false, the sparkly lights, the party, the celebration, the distraction. You'll begin to see through that and honor yourself by staying in your light and your pillar and bringing light to a situation or within yourself. So let's see what the card, the book has to share, the channeling by Amanda Ellis with temptation. For those of you that like the numerology, it's card number 12. You're welcome to look that up on your own time. I'm just going to come read through the book here. All right. Temptation is defined as the desire to do something wrong or unwise. And because this is highlighted by this card, caution is advised while continuing to tend before considering one's next action or making an unwise choice. Yeah, so discernment, right? Pause, stop where you're at. You may well have a situation around you that asks you to stop and reflect, as well as an opportunity to choose the higher pathway and consider what Christ would do. Often we are subconsciously driven by our lower natures and have relied upon programming and what we may have been taught or had done to us. Within this energy of temptation sits Jesus's other teaching of do as you would be done by. For truly, if that's our benchmark, we would never willingly hurt ourselves through word, thought, deed, so we would not wish to do to another. The three monkeys on this card depict the old proverb, see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, with roots in Japanese culture, asking us instead to be good of mind, speech, and action. In our daily lives, we are bombarded by gossip, hearsay, and information that can often be driven by ego, agenda, bias, not wisdom and discernment. Our job, therefore, is to filter out that which is misguided, unkind, or untrue, and not be the receptacle that allows it to grow. What we say matters. Our tongue should not be forked but infused with love. Take a moment to think about what it is on the tip of your tongue. Is what you wish to say helpful and true, or spiteful and poisoned? If you face a difficult conversion, ask to speak with clarity, kindness, truth, love. Since even when it is difficult, if we speak from a place of love, it will be received as such. Regarding our sight and focus, we are asked to turn our gaze away from unnecessary dramas, poor role modeling, humiliation of others, and any stimulus that results in lower energies within. Okay. We are not asked to be ignorant from the horrors of the world, however, and in fact, the hands obscuring the monkey's eyes are a nod to going within to seek the best way to help, maybe via prayer, power, or positive manifestation and focus. Jesus himself never doubted that lower energies were prevalent in our world, and he was tempted in the desert. He was tempted in the desert, but his focus lay in not forgiving it all-encompassing power. His focus lay in not giving it all-encompassing power, relying instead on God and rejecting false promises for short-term gain. Aligning to Christ consciousness daily helps hone our senses to act accordingly and to be a living example of how to live in thought, word, and deed, inspiring others as we do so. Picking this card may also imply secrets and hidden motives are at play. Someone may be hiding their true character or testing you. If so, see this as a teaching moment to shine light on what is hidden, to help, not hinder, to forgive, not condemn. Others may be tempted in relation to earthly goods such as money, possessions, and power, but you can choose differently, knowing that the most lasting legacy is how you conducted yourself through trials and tribulations. Hold your head high. You had the power to triumph. You hold the power to triumph over anything that seeks to diminish your beauty and light. So beautiful. So again, you're going inward to bring in that light that already exists within you, right? It's recognizing things exist in the world and choosing to be in the world that you want to create. That's filled with so much more than the discord and the temptations and the false promises and desires. You have so much longevity when you're in a place and have a strong moral compass without expecting others to be in that same level of morality. But when you're fully connected to spirit and yourself, your heart, then you in the universe, you just feel love when you let the other things go and just let love in, let the compassion in, let the grace in, and move toward what you like to become. How you would like to speak, how would you like people to speak to you when you are that example for others, because you're honoring yourself in such a different way than before, or maybe deepening that practice and guidance. It can be a really beautiful time to take time to self-reflect in your own life. What's occurring? If you need to pause, maybe you have a project, maybe you have a business partner, maybe you're wanting to leave a career or a relationship, and just pause and allow some of the dust to settle, because it can be confusing, or maybe the depths of some other things is pushing you in another direction to deepen into your self-mastery, to shed light into the root and the shadow and the cause within yourself. And be mindful of the judgments and things. I was reminded of that recently, to just let go and be in this neutral space for my clients, because there are times when I don't feel like working. And I know you are no different. There are probably times when you feel like, I just don't want to do it today. And then I come back to what the role I'm holding and the space I'm holding for others along their healing journey. And I know when I feel that way, there's something within me to bring in some more light. What lights me up? Where do I want to be in my own self-care, my own joy, my own things? I have to look at myself, which means to go inward. You go in through the heart and expand back out. Everything is through the heart right now. And some of us, you be like, well, how do I do that? How do I connect with my heart, right? Because you haven't learned or practiced, I'll say, to go into the stillness and allow yourself to feel, even on the subtle levels, right? It could begin with, I'm just going to feel what it is like, like sensory. Begin with your senses, right? This is all senses. This is all sensory, right? So if we're moving too fast, trying to achieve and catch that dangling carrot that you'll forever be chasing, you don't give time to be in the stillness. You don't give time to be in your sensory, the sensory of your body. And I see this with clients every day. Where do you feel it in your body? Or like, I don't know. I don't even feel my body. Right. And I had a client, you know, she's a week-long Panchakarma, the cleanse. And she's like, oh, now I feel my hip. It feels tight there. Good. Good. Because that means she's starting to pay attention more and her body, listening to her body. As one area opens up and is resolved, the other area can speak out loud. But you have to be able to go into self-reflection and sometimes contemplation or just the stillness, right? Of listening inward. So much power there, so much clarity to come for you in that space, in the 0 point. So that's all I have for you today on this card. Remember the light here, it lights your channel. I'm Jean Lobito. Be sure to like and share this. And I'll see you on day 43.